Welcome to the Bad Mom Show, where we flip the script on shame, shed light on what's made you feel invisible, and take your story back. It is time to step into that bold, baddie mom you were created to be. Around here, BAD stands for blessed, already approved of, and divinely designed, because you are not a bad mom. You are a leader. You were chosen for your family on purpose. You are divinely designed and anointed as the heart of your home, and you can confidently own your mantle of leadership as a fiery woman to lead with boldness, not burnout. This is your space to reclaim the parts of your story that have felt like weaknesses and discover they were actually your superpowers all along. It is time to shine as a BAD mom. Are you with me? Let's go. Welcome back to the Bad Mom Show. Okay, today I have a story to share. So, as I'm recording this, we are coming up on the month of August, and my birthday is in August. I will be turning 46. Wow. Okay, I said it. Now, I'm not one that is opposed to aging gracefully. In fact, I love my 40s. I think they've been the best decade yet. I'm just sad that I feel like it's going by really too fast. That's my feeling. And I've loved 45, to be quite honest. So yeah, coming into 46 is a little like, oh gosh, time's flying. But it reminded me of a story that I wanted to share with you today. So about 5 years ago, I was in a mastermind, and I remember one day being on a call, and my mentor at the time was, sharing a message, and she said, what do you want to do? Wake up one day and be 45 and wish you'd just gone for it? And she didn't mean it in a mean way, but when she said those words, it was like, oh, it was like a knife to my heart. And immediately it struck this chord in me that was like, oh my gosh, I'm missing my time. I'm going to miss my time if I don't hurry up and like create something. And I immediately was just so triggered into this hustle mode, right? That's what I fall back on. And I started just chasing anything and everything that I heard in the group come my way. Like, oh, I was literally chasing other people's dreams and hustling so hard. Um, it was probably one of the most anxiety laden seasons of my life. I was like trying to build out a brand. I was starting Facebook groups and trying to start a coaching program, but deep down I was like I didn't feel connected to those things. But her words had triggered this thing in me that was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm running out of time. I'm going to miss my moment." And then the fear of being a failure, having like no purpose, right? Like I had to prove I had a purpose. It was long. And it was so out of alignment with anything that God was trying to do in my life. And I'm sure someone listening to this can relate. So if you can, stick around. I just remember working like constantly. I worked all the time. I remember, again, it's a lot, right? Trying to create the content and then editing the content and writing a newsletter and being on the calls and then leading my own calls and trying to lead a team and build a business. And it was just, I was so overwhelmed. I was so overwhelmed and like anxious all the time. I remember my husband saying, it was like a Saturday or Sunday, and I'm sitting in my office, and he was like, I swear, I think you could work 24/7 if I let you. And he was right. Like in me, there was just like never enough time. I couldn't stop because I had this thing I had to finish doing and prove that I could do too. And, sometimes being in these environments is really healthy, but there are parts of it that can kind of become toxic too. Like if you start comparing yourself to other people, or if you are a high achiever and you have this performance, this drive in you, but it's not coming from a godly place. It's not coming from, oh no, this is my calling where God has me and wants me. This is something that I'm doing out of a place of unworthiness, and I need to prove my worth by, like manifesting this thing. What in my mind, it was like a program. I mean, I was literally attaching my worth to, can I create a program? I don't, it's awful. Or can I reach the top rank of my direct sales business? Can I be a boss mom like everybody else that's like juggling life and seems like they've got it all together and they're a great mom and they're running a business and they're like the top of their business? Maybe that is for you. I don't know how you do it, but that was not me. And that was honestly the truth. That was so hard, was that it was not even as fruitful as it should have been for the amount of time and effort that I was putting into it. The fruit was not there. We were paying a full-time nanny and all of that so that I could work and chase all of these things that weren't really in my heart to begin with, but it just seemed like what I should be doing. And I was barely making enough money to justify it. And I just remember this moment one day. I was sitting in my office and I had these French glass doors, and I'm watching my nanny take my kids out to go to the playground, which was down the road, and just watching them walk down the sidewalk in front of our house. And my son is on his little scooter and she's pushing my little baby girl in the stroller. And my heart just sank because I was like, oh my gosh, I should be doing that. Why am I not doing that? And I just realized I was like, I am missing it. I am totally missing it. And for what? For what? And it was an awful sinking feeling. But the truth is, it wasn't really about the business. It wasn't really about succeeding, right? I had attached my worth to those things. And yes, there was a fear. That the truth is, it was like a fear that was driving me, that if I didn't do those things, I would be exposed as not equipped enough, not qualified enough, a failure, and um, not, that fear of missing out. Like, well, everybody else is doing it, I should be doing it too. But again, that comes from a very insecure place. And so I had to get really honest about that. And there was a lot of shame attached to it. Also, going along with that was I had to be honest with myself that I was avoiding motherhood. It was easier for me to let somebody else, my nanny, help me parent my children, because deep down, I did not believe that I knew how to parent them well enough on my own. I was scared of failing as a mom. And so it felt safer. I could do this. I can hustle. Yeah, I know how to do that. I can work at things and reach goals and check off the tasks on my to-do list. I can do that. I can stay busy and I can avoid my family. Like, how sad, but that was a truth that I had to come to grips with. I had to come to terms with God about. Um, So that's where I was really operating from, like this deep shame that I thought I was flawed, and I was so fearful that I was going to be exposed as this bad mom, that I was going to fail my kids. And I had my priorities out of alignment. I was telling myself I remember I would like compare myself to my friends and watching them in their motherhood moments. And I just remember hearing myself literally in my mind say things like, well, you're not like that. You're not, you have to try to be joyful. You're not a joyful person. Now, if you know me, you know that's not true. I'm a very joyful person, but because I felt so insecure about, you know, getting motherhood right, put so much pressure on ourselves. I got to get it right. But I was operating from this broken place of the past. Like, oh, I had to prove I was not going to be a bad mom. I was not a bad person. I was not an angry person. I was not what, was spoken over me, or I had to prove I could be different. And I was not those bad things. I was a good girl, right? It's really from that young place. I was a good girl and I was gonna be a good mom. But it was, the complete opposite is what I was feeling and seeing. I just I was literally in like a tailspin. So God, right, in his mercy, he will prune things from you. And I just remember feeling so at the end of my rope, like I had nothing left to give. And he said to me, like, it's time to let this go. Like, no more mastermind. You know, your business, if it's meant to be, it'll be there, but it's time to like lay down being on all the calls and, having the monthly goals and it just never ending and step into this beautiful thing I've got waiting for you right here, which is motherhood. And I remember saying to him, okay, I want to do this. I don't want to have, full-time help anymore. I want to be mom, 24/7 mom. But I'm scared. I had to admit it. I'm scared. I don't know how to do this without you. And he's like, great, let's go. That's the best thing about him. I mean, once you figure that out, he's like, oh my gosh, I can't wait. Like, let's go. Let's do this together. And that's when I started to realize that motherhood is not just supposed to be this rewarding season, it is a refining season. And I didn't see it then. But once I fully surrendered to him and said, okay, I'm ready, I'm willing to do this, that's when he started showing me things. That's when things started coming to the surface that I was like, ooh, I don't like this. But okay, I'm not going to run and hide from it anymore. Let's work it out together. And yeah, it's not always the most pleasant experience to have to face those things, but with his help, with his grace, with his mercy, you see those parts of yourself differently. You can detach yourself from them. It's the light exposing the darkness for what it is. It is a vapor, it is a shadow. It is the darkness cannot overcome the light. So he started working those things out with me. Hey, friend. Thank you so much for being here and following the Bad Mom Show. I would love to hear from you, so let's connect. After the show, send me a DM and let me know what's hitting home for you. What do you struggle with the most as a mom? And what topics would you like to hear more about? This show is all about connection in the community because that is how we truly grow. So reach out to me at the Teresa Todd on Instagram, Facebook, or even TikTok, and I cannot wait to hear from you. These are layers of lies that I have believed for decades, and you have them in you too. It's just how we're wired. Before when you were a baby, before you have words, you have a body that feels and interprets. It's taking in information to know, like, am I good? Am I safe? All of those things. But that now it's a highway in your brain and you just go there. So it's like we got to become aware of it and we got to let God into the story and say, okay, these are those things. I believed I was too much. I would hear, you have the rage. You're the bad one. What are those sayings that just replay in your mind? You're never satisfied. Oh, give her an inch, she'll take a mile. Oh, you're so angry. You don't know how to be a good mom. These are literally the little lies, the whispers that constantly interrupt you throughout the day. Become conscious of them. Those were those things that I would hear. But in my quiet moments with Jesus, he would reverse all those things for me. And he said, I never said those things about you. Who told you that? I never told you that. What does he say about me? And what does he say about you? He said, you're my beloved daughter. You are not alone. He told me I'm not a disappointment. Not to him, but he loves me more in my weaknesses. That yeah, I am fiery and I am passionate, but I am deeply loving. And I am fiercely protective over my children. And I love them more than anything in the world. Yeah, I am a joyful person. I'm a fun person. I'm not just joyful, I'm fun. I don't have to try at that. And that he does not expect me to be perfect. That he will show me how to be a kind, loving, patient, empathetic parent with his help, right? Jesus shows us, he models that. And that I don't have to prove I'm a good parent, that I'm not my parents, and my kids are not me. So important that we come to terms with those truths. Okay. It's so easy to believe, like, oh no, that one's like me, or that. No, they're their own person too. You don't have to work to prove your purpose. And get this, please, because I hear way too many women saying it, and I was believing this lie too. That's why I was striving and stressing and hustling to prove something out there. Motherhood did not rob you of your purpose. It did not rob me of anything. In fact, it is the invitation of God. He wants to work things out in you and through motherhood, because this is your opportunity to say, I'm not going to pass that on. I'm not going to I'm not going to carry on that pattern. We're going to lead and live our lives in a different way, in a healthier way. It's not, that is a calling. That is a leadership position. And it takes courage to step up into it. But he wants you to. So own this today, that you are the heart of your home. I am the heart of my home. I don't carry a burden. No, I am building a new path forward. And no, you are not behind. You are exactly where you were meant to be. Just to share, like looking back at the past few years, and especially this past year, because of laying all those things down and getting my priorities straight and prioritizing my family first over business. Well, not first, God first, marriage, and then children, but I had my priorities flip-flop there at the bottom there. So much more healing has happened, whether personally, obviously in my own life, in my spiritual walk, in my relationship with God, but in my just my confidence and my belief in who I am and my calling in this world. All of that has been healed and expedited in such a way that can only be God. My relationship with my kids is much healthier. Like I mess up on the daily, but I have no problem admitting it and repenting and asking for forgiveness and saying, like I'm a work in progress too, guys. That, modeling that for them is one of the healthiest things you can do. So they know they don't have to be perfect. They don't have to prove their value and their worth. Um, and then just things like this. Like I feel I've been more fruitful in, if you want to call it, purpose in action, I guess, like, because I believe your purpose is in who you are. It's not in something you do, but God does call us to take action. And I've started sharing my story on stages. I'm writing, so stay tuned for that. And the podcast, I mean, this is all birthed out of me saying, okay, I will do what you want to do, Lord. I will stop chasing the dangling carrot out there, thinking that my purpose is something I have to do out there and prove, avoiding where you're really calling me, right? Because when you get in alignment with him, he can expedite things that you could never do on your own. So maybe this is you. Maybe you are in that season and you realize, okay, I need to change something. Let him in. This is a season of refining. Refining is good, is purifying, and he wants that for you. Maybe you feel an ache in you. That is not missing your moment. You're not a failure. I think it's really your spirit is calling you back into alignment. So ask him, Lord, what do I need to do? Like, where do you want me? Maybe you are working so hard to find your worthiness that you are missing the season that God is really inviting you into. Maybe the moment that you think you're missing was never yours to begin with. But I know what is yours. It is the gift of peace. It is the gift of joy and wholeness. It is the gift of slowing down and enjoying your kids, enjoying this season. You get them for like this millisecond, right? That is your gift. And your voice, your authority in your home, as the heart of your home, and your calling. You are literally chosen by God and from heaven for this moment. So that is yours. Own that. Love that. Get excited about that. I'm excited about it for you. And just a couple of things to remind you that you are not too late. I found a few people that started things later in their lifetime, like Joyce Myers. If you don't know her, I mean, please just do a quick Google. I love her Bible, the Everyday Life Bible. but she didn't start her ministry until she was 45. So, hey, great things happen at 45. Colonel Sanders, he started KFC when he was 65. 65. Come on. Sarah in the Bible, she gave birth at 90. I don't know if we're trying to do that, but hey, for decades she thought she was not having that happen. And then, of course, Jesus. He didn't start his public ministry until he was 30, and it only lasted 3 years, but it completely changed everything. So, no, you have not missed your moment. You are not too far behind. You are not too far gone. You are not disqualified or some disappointment. Check your heart, go to God, ask him what he's calling you into. Because I know that Jeremiah 29:11 says, he knows he has plans for you, and his plans are to prosper you, not to harm you, that his plans are good to give you a hope and a future. Write that one down if you don't have it. It's a great one. If this hit home for you today, I would love to hear from you. I am on Instagram. I'm on all the socials, but if you want to look me up there, is at the Teresa Todd, and send me a DM. I would love to hear from you. And if you're willing, I would love it if you would share this on your social and tag me. That would make me so happy too. And I'd love to just get to know you better. And as always, please hit follow, subscribe, leave a 5-star review if this spoke to you, and do not miss what's coming next. We drop a new episode every Wednesday. So until then, remember, you are not a bad mom. You are blessed, already approved of, and divinely designed as the heart of your home.